Hi guys, Demega here. I'm carrying on with the second part of the walkthrough, as promised. You're probably going to notice some chopping and changing throughout this. It's purely down to my really poor video editing skills. That, and I'm using fraps. Word of advice, if you're ever going to get yourself some screen capture software, don't use fraps. Without further ado, let's roll into it. So we'll just quickly cover over the first video. I just showed you some of the main mechanics, such as flight from A to B with the actual TARDIS. What we're going to see now is the data store, flight mode, which is pretty sort of, exciting. There goes a random chap and a Brahmin, which is actually quite unusual, but there we go. And yeah, we're going to fly through some general bits and bobs, so let's get to it. Okay. Right, as you can see, we're in the TARDIS. And what I think the best thing for me to do at the moment is to just take you on a quick guided tour as promised. Now you're going to have to excuse my frame rate because I'm running this bloody laptop without a charger at the moment, which is problematic, not to say the least. Now you probably notice is obviously the horrible graphics there. I covered that last time. Something that I'm working on at the moment. It's just textures, etc. I'm not a modeller by heart, so doing the best I've got my tools with. Like I said before, excuse the video chopping and changing every few seconds. I can't work out how to stop the limit on the video recording here, so prime example there. So you're cutting me out halfway through. Not helpful, perhaps. Anyway, this area of the TARDIS is known as the ship. What you can see in front of you is the central corridor outside. All your generic sort of coral buttresses, etc. Is a pretty handy hatch, which, if I open it, takes you to the underbelly of the ship. This is where you can do some of your upgrades, etc. So we go back into the main corridor. And if I just quickly run down here, you can see you've got a sort of a small broom cupboard type thing outside the console room. This is just where you can store random bits and bobs. Nothing generally important in there. And here we've got the companion's bedroom. Obviously the Doctor, he never really seemed to sleep, so we never saw a bedroom of his as far as I'm aware anyway. Companion's bedroom, probably what I'll probably do is make it so that if you have any companions or followers, they'll be found in this room if necessary. Right, okay. So effectively, I don't want to linger too long because there's some spoilers in these particular parts, which for the observant people, when you come to play the actual game, heaven forbid it gets released, keep your eyes peeled around for any subtle changes. It's not necessarily level design changes. It may just be that some things don't quite look the way they seem when you first look at them. That's all I'm going to say. Kitchen. You can get your cup of tea and stuff there. Yes, I'm not joking. There's an actual cup of tea in it. I've also got a bag of as I was saying, I've also got a bag of jelly babies hidden around somewhere, so it's not necessarily important, but it's just a funny little thing I've added. Random doors here and there. I will link them round to things at some point, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Now I'm just waiting for the video to cut out again because it's hitting its limit. Okay, so down there, access to internal of the ship, which we'll get to in a bit. Down there, access to the library. Excuse me, through here we've got the wardrobe dead ahead and the medical bay, and you're going to have to excuse the lag, it's doing my head in. Right, so medical bay, etc. You can activate your infirmary, you've got your chem tubes there, your pretty generic sort of Fallout 3 content really, nothing major. If we crawl through here, we should be able to get into the wardrobe and give you a quick sneak peek at the wardrobe, so if we have a look for it. Yeah, TARDIS wardrobe, big ugly coral implementation in the middle which needs retexturing. Got all your wardrobes, etc. A gantry to get up onto. Right, anyway, moving on. So yeah, we've got the wardrobe, which is your pretty generic Doctor Who implement. Probably going to remesh the walls as well, but I can just always steal the console rooms walls, so that's not a problem. And if we hot rod it through. Take you into the library now. Tum-ti-tum, through. Now, I'm particularly proud of the library, you're going to see why in a moment. Library, so if we leg it through, you've got your library down there, all your books, etc. Some nifty little, I don't know how to sort of phrase it really, but some nifty little hidden things down there, so you might want to go and have a look. And you've got the TARDIS library databank. Access that. We'll be importing all the content about Doctor Who, such as but I can't go into that at the moment. But for example, Ravalox, the Rassilon Imp Archer, Rassilon the Great. Just information I'm going to pull from Wikipedia, basically. Not necessarily copyrighting it because it's free public domain anyway. Funny little bits and bobs in there, you know, random info, as I was saying. But yeah, so that's the library. So if we leg it out again without the lag killing it. And like I say, please excuse my really terrible laggy machine because it's not the power cable, so that's going to be contributing, and it's just fraps. It's horrible. This is what's known as the central corridor. This has got sort of access to the other main parts of the ship. So you've got part of the ship at the moment which is sealed off. I've not opened that for many reasons. The map is there for it, but I'm just not giving access to it yet, purely because that's a whole new kettle of fish, and I don't want to get into that just yet. Take you to the workshop quickly. Okay, so we've got the workshop. You've got particular little robot fella's head there. Yeah, general bits and bobs. Okay, you've got kind of a couple of bits of information that you might want to benefit taking there. Gives you information on the components that you need to upgrade the TARDIS. You've obviously got your obligatory workbench, etc. I've got a sneaky feeling I'm giving away far too much. Really ideally want you guys to be finding all this information out for yourself. I don't mind sharing you the ship, but it's the actual rest of it. And the TARDIS swimming pool. Now, as Matt Smith said, the swimming pool was in the library when he had his TARDIS, but that was his TARDIS, not this one. So, obviously, you know, the internal dimension shifts, so it ain't a big deal. You've got your obligatory radio, etc. And a funky little water feature. And yes. That's right, okay. Right, so that is the TARDIS as you see it at the moment. So if I now just take you back to the console room, we should be able to go through all the other bits and bobs that I wanted to show you. The most important bits and bobs that is. So let's get started.